So I was working in a job that I really loved, but I realised that it didn't quite align with my environmental values. So I decided to take a leap of faith and change direction by starting in the Masters of Environment and Sustainability.
In my undergrad, I studied fashion. So I was always really drawn to textiles and the design process and creative expression. And during my studies, I did an exchange in New York City and I took an elective on sustainable fashion. And we went to the United Nations for a briefing on sustainable textiles. And it was here that I learned about the social and environmental impact that the fashion industry had. And once I became privy to this information, I made the decision that if I was going to work in fashion, I had to be making a positive impact.
I started studying the Masters because I became very passionate about what was happening in Australia and across the globe. When I was living in my hometown of Carisbrook in regional Victoria, we faced some pretty bad floods in 2011. So at the time I was 12 years old. That really impacted me. I didn't at the time necessarily make that decision to commit to sustainability, but it was always an underlying current in my life. In high school, I did try to seek out some leadership positions. I was quite passionate about things like gender equality. And then it was when I came to university that I started to realise that my true passion was the broader picture of sustainable development. In 2020, during the middle of the pandemic, I participated in Green Steps, which is a program run by Monash Sustainable Development Institute. I learnt some things about behaviour change, a little introduction into sustainability, and I really connected with peers and like-minded people who were also studying at Monash, who had that same shared passion about sustainability as me. I tend to be a voice in the classroom for the social issues around sustainability, which is not always recognised. There is times where people are more focused on the environmental impacts, water and waste and energy and things like that. But I like to really draw everyone's attention to the fact that there may be some inequities in the things that we're delivering, and that's really important with sustainable development, I think.
My name is Nicole Cowan and I'm currently working as Education Program Coordinator for Zoos Victoria. I support the team at Zoos Victoria to deliver quality education for Victorian students and teachers to implement wildlife conservation within their school. I also support the broader team and the strategy at Zoos Victoria to support their vision of fighting wildlife extinction in Victoria. I did a Bachelor of Science and majored in zoology because I really, really enjoy the environment and conservation. My life then took a different journey for a little while and I ended up working in sport, which I really, really enjoyed. I did realise after a little while that what I was working on didn't quite align with my conservation and environmental values. And I had seen that the Masters of Environment and Sustainability advertised through Monash, and so I decided to take a leap of faith, and I joined that as a way to start redirecting myself into a new career pathway back into environment and sustainability.
I think prior to studying the Masters, I was always really interested in the social and environmental issues of the fashion industry, but I didn't necessarily know about all of the other issues. And being in the Masters, which was really an interdisciplinary course, which really drew me to it, I was exposed to so many issues and also so many different people as well. And that's something that I really valued in the course. I was with people from all over the globe, from all different disciplines, whether it was law, fashion, music, education, government, and at different stages of their career as well.
In the Masters, I'm learning about my own leadership style. I didn't know before that there were so many different types of leadership, and particularly within the realm of sustainability leadership. I'm quite an empathic leader. I'm very ethically driven, and I like to think about how things might affect people in my team. I've built a leadership development plan, which I try to implement every day. As a team member in Access Monash, where I work at Monash University, I try to bring that empathy and thinking about the ways that our work affects young people.
Being able to see these strengths and realize that they do make me a leader was really quite empowering, I think, because I feel like I can harness these in different situations to influence change for the better, whether that's in university or whether that's in the fashion space.
The leadership unit that we studied was one of my favourite units. I felt that the information that we were learning there was really confirming the leadership style that I had already developed through my role as a supervisor in the job that I was currently working in. But it also allowed me to develop new skills in terms of understanding how other people might lead and different types of leadership that you could employ at different times as well, which I felt was really, really important. And it's something that I've been able to take through to my current job. And actually, I've developed a program where I help young people develop their leadership skills as well.
The teaching in the classroom in this Masters has really inspired me to become a better facilitator in my role as an outreach project officer at Access Monash. I think that the way that we educate students about sustainability really matters, not just giving them the content, but ensuring that we're delivering it in a way that is impactful and actually empowers them to make change.
Since graduating, I've joined Fashion Revolution. So Fashion Revolution was established in 2013 after the Rana Plaza incident, which unfortunately killed more than 1,200 garment workers in Bangladesh. So I'll be joining a group of other really passionate people from around Australia, a lot of them from either a fashion background or from a sustainability background or a mix of both. And we will be advocating for better working conditions in Australia, hopefully working with government or just getting people to think about clothing and who makes it and where it comes from.
So what I love most about my job and my role is actually helping young people find their own environmental identity and understanding their value and contribution that they can make to the broader planet as well.
I don't know what the future will be like, but I know that I am ready to take it on, and I want to make sure that those who are the upcoming generations are also feeling ready for that.